Hey, what's good everybody? Welcome to another video. My name is Alckemy if this is your first time to the channel. Hi, we do lots of cool sound design thingies here. I would always appreciate some kind of interaction that you can have with the channel and all that, like subscription, all that, whatever. Let's move on. I will say though, that we're working on our way to getting 10K, and to kind of help push that, I am doing a giveaway for a sub pack, which is super cool. It's really hard to get right now. So if you want one of those, let's get to 10K, and then I'll be picking one lucky winner to enjoy the sub pack. It is used. It's great. All that. Okay, so today's video is going to be about something that was given to me from a composer friend. She knows who she is. Thank you for that, by the way. There are some really cool things that I've taken personally from this, and it was originally meant to be something that was strictly from composition, as I'll get into detail here in a second, but today's kind of big secret in music is something called audiating. And long story short, it is a means of imagining or cultivating imagination to be able to translate what you hear in your head into a physical medium or on paper or whatever notation that you want to do. Now, in my opinion, traditionally, this kind of thing of audiating is a lot easier to do in contemporary music because they focus on instruments that have been around for centuries. For example, a piano, a guitar, even classic percussion, all those things have been used in so many contexts that the only thing that we have to focus on is maybe something along the lines of melody, harmony, or something along that nature. There are many unconventional ways to use these instruments that are, you know, kind of new and nuanced and pushing the envelope, but we usually don't think about those kinds of things. In contrast, with developing an imagination for sounds that are a little bit more unpredictable or a little bit more, I guess, unique. For example, if you have watched any of the tutorials and stuff that I make, a lot of times I have never heard the sound that I've made before anywhere else. I might have made something similar or whatever, but I don't have the correct imagination, and so we have to use some kind of like catalyst in order for us to kind of give us a little bit of a push. Now, what I'm getting at is, for me personally, I make a lot of sound design that's very abstract. So because I've never heard these sounds in context before, it's very hard for me to draw imagination from that, even if I had the proficiency, right? So instead, what I try to do with these things is focus on developing something in means of context of placing them within a sound family. So a lot of times whenever I do some kind of like glitch thing with phase plant or whatever, I try to think about using those things as a means of rhythm and thinking about how they can potentially be categorized into some kind of sound family, whether it be bass or percussion, or, you know, using a bunch of reverb to fill it out into some kind of pad, sometimes even using it as a drum, depending on what the sound is. The thing with cultivating imagination is I really believe that it can be done. I really believe that you can teach yourself imagination. It's all about how you perceive it though. If you think that you're just going to wake up one day and that you're going to have imagination to things, it's not really going to happen. And so what we have to do instead is, if you're like me, you have to give yourself some kind of head start. You have to give yourself some kind of moment, some kind of catalyst is what I would recommend it as. So a lot of times when people are jamming, they usually have something to jam off of, right? Maybe they make everything themselves, but they give themselves a starting point to try to develop crazy ideas or whatever. And so why can't we do the same thing whenever we're trying to design this, you know, abstract music? For me, I make like super glitch, IDM, heavy, whatever, but it could be, you know, used in the same concept of something that is more contemporary. If you can hear a melody in your head and you have the proficiency of playing, then you can translate it a lot easier. If you have a means of rhythm and you have, you know, a small skill set in beatboxing, then you can maybe not necessarily get a one-to-one relationship with it, but you can match the rhythm that you have within the beatboxing stuff that you have to the sounds that you're trying to apply. Does that make sense? And on paper, this might seem like it's really basic, but in my opinion, I think that this is something that is very deep and very dense, because we're starting to figure out how to relate things that spark more possibilities. And to me, that's how I would define imagination. It's not things come to you, it's how can I create either based off of something that inspires us or something that gives us a reference or something that does become kind of proactive in that nature. Maybe that is like a goal that we can achieve where you do just start imagining things. In retrospect, I think that audiating is a great way for you and myself and everybody else to kind of come up with these great musical ideas and all that. But this in itself is a skill. And so whenever you're trying to think about something, regardless of the context that it is, you want to try to take what it is that you have, whether it be a melody or a means of rhythm or a means of glitch of a sound, and then start using that and trying to develop sonic possibilities of how it might fit in the context of a song. It doesn't have to be something as you hear all of the instruments together, though I will say that the conversations that she and I have had, the composer, the more instruments that you have, I think the more further along you've developed in imagination, right? So as opposed to only being able to hear one instrument in your head, you hear, you know, a complete ensemble or 3 or 4 instruments, I think is what most people do. That is something that you'll get better at over time. So you start with one sound, you know, maybe you've got a bass that came from a glitch cut and you go like boom, wow. Okay, well now we've placed that in a fill. This is kind of crazy, right? But now that we've placed that in a fill, we've created context for that specific sound, and now we've gotten ourselves another piece of the puzzle. And so as we continue to develop these as exercises, eventually they can help us lead to more and more songs. It is kind of a means of meditation in some way or another, but this is a skill that I do believe that everybody should practice. So that's pretty much today's video. Thank you guys for watching. We kind of have a new setup. I went and got, you know, some lights and new phone and all that stuff. Hopefully you like the background. If you guys like these kind of videos where I'm on camera and stuff, then let me know. I've kind of been wanting to do more philosophical things, but yeah. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you in the next video.